Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are tuned in from. Welcome to another episode of What Now? This is my 40th conversation already in this pandemic and all kinds of other things that's going on. So I am actually happy that we're still keeping it going, that we're still inspired, that we're still motivated, and that everybody is still enjoying the conversations. So I appreciate everyone tuning in and watching my talks, actually. I have a special guest today. Well, every guest is a special guest. I keep saying that. His name is Romeo Johnson. He has worked with everybody in the book. He's a singer, a vocal coach. He plays instruments. There is just nothing that this man can't do. And I'm very excited to have him as a guest on the What Now series. Thanks to our mutual friend, Amadeus. Thank you so much for hooking this up. I got a chance to talk to Romeo a little bit, and he is truly an amazing, inspiring person. When I talk about working with the greats, there's Jody Watley, there's Queen Latifah, there's Trey Songz, there's Janet and Michael Jackson, there's Teddy Riley. He has literally worked with everyone. He is he's the vocal coach of the celebrities, I call him. He's done TV shows. He's been the coach for The Voice in the US, I think seasons 1 to 4. Then he was a vocal coach on P. Diddy's Making His Band. He's done America's Got Talent or whatever. He has done everything. So yes, I can't tell you enough how excited I am to actually talk to this guy, having worked with so many people that I admire myself, and being definitely an industry vet himself. So yeah, I'm waiting for him to come in. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Scheme, welcome. Ronte, welcome. Jaden and Tamara, welcome. Happy to see everybody log in and tune in, and be sure to put your questions in the question box if you have questions for him. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to say hi to everyone, but it's good to see everyone. There goes Romeo. Yay. Let me see if I can get him in here. Oh, Romeo, it says unable to join. So figure that out, please. Do you see the request? Because I can't send you one from my end. So it says unable to join. So please make sure that you are able to join for this conversation. Oh, I'm so excited to talk to him. So hopefully he'll be able to get in this live. I'm not sure why it does that. I've had a guest before that wasn't able to join, and I think it was Charlie, and she actually left and came back in. Yeah, I don't know. Do you see the request? If I want to send you a request, it says unable to join. So I don't know why that is. I've only had it with one guest, and then I guess maybe it was the internet connection or the device. Just if you leave, get out this live and come back, maybe it works. I don't know why that is. I don't know why people get that unable to join. Daryl, great to see you in here. Yeah, I can't wait to get this started. So hopefully he'll be able to join this conversation. So again, like I said, it's worked with the greats: Queen Latifah, Trey Songz, Jody Watley, Michael and Janet Jackson, Teddy Riley. He sang backup for everybody and their mama. He's played instruments for everyone. He's been touring with everyone. So you don't want to miss this conversation. I'm excited to talk to him, because talking to somebody that, yes, please try a different device. Just see what happens. 'Cause I don't know why he can't join us. It keeps saying unable to join. If anybody knows why that is, let us know, please. If anybody has the solution, let me know. Hey Jeff, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, again, I can't wait to hear the experiences of this guy, having worked with so many people and also coaching a lot of people. So if you're an artist, it as a vocal coach, sure, it's all about singing, but it has a lot to do with the industry as well, knowing how to do your business and knowing how to approach certain people if you want to sing for them or if you want to go on tour as a background singer. Yeah, please tune in, stay tuned. Thank you for being so patient with us. I don't know what that is. Again, if anybody has a solution, let me know. Yeah, I did get a chance to talk to Romeo earlier this week, and I can't just stress how positive this guy is and how helpful, and he works with people all over the world. So I get energy from that. That's why I do these talks as well. And I hope everyone gets the energy from the talks also. And if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. If you have, oh, there we go. Yes, this works. Device. I don't know why, but yeah, put your questions in the question box so we can get to those during the conversation. Yay! Welcome.
Wow.
It's working.
Well, yeah, it's working. I had to switch things up for a minute.
Oh, I guess it was the device. I don't know why.
It had to have been the device. I changed the device and it's working fine. But yeah, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. You hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you perfectly fine. And you have this
Beautiful.
nice setup behind you and, studio and stuff.
Yep.
It's the perfect setting.
This is the lab where we get it done.
Get it done. So I gave everyone a pretty long introduction already and dropped some names of who you've worked with. For me, it's an incredible honor to have you as a guest. Knowing who you've worked with and what you've done. I mean, you worked with my childhood heroes, and not to make it sound old, but it's just
it is what it is.
You've accumulated so much experience and knowledge that I'm just ready to soak that up as a sponge. Awesome. And hopefully everyone that's tuned in will feel the same way. First, I want to ask you, because I started this talk as a motivational relief during the pandemic. How are you doing? How has Corona affected you personally and business-wise?
Well, initially, of course, just like everyone else, it caught me completely off guard. And, like everyone else, I was kind of confused about exactly what this was and what it was going to become. And as soon as I think reality hit me when the strip here I live in Las Vegas, and when they shut the strip down, that was when reality hit. I was like, whoa, this is some real stuff, It
like, never happened.
Who would ever imagine the Las Vegas Strip, looking like ghost town? Right. And then obviously, I was concerned. My first thought was, oh boy, this is going to be bad for everyone. Everyone's work is shut down. Primarily, I'm a voice coach. That's what I do. Primarily, all day, every day. I teach people all over the globe via Zoom, and I've been doing that for 5 years. My first concern and thought was, man, if everybody's going to stop working, one of the first things I would assume people would want to shave off of their list of bills would be voice lessons, because most people, you got to focus on paying your rent and paying your utilities and things like that. Right. So I thought, oh man, this is going to be rough. Thank God I'm financially okay. And, I'm just going to have to budget and be careful. And sure enough, the very next morning, I get a phone call from one of my clients' father. He said, man, I got laid off. We're going to have to chill out for a while. I'm like, I totally understand, bro. And I was like, well, here it goes. It's about to be bad. And within 24 hours, I got like 4 calls from people saying, you know what, can I take lessons? Do you have any slots? And it ended up actually working the absolute opposite of what I was expecting. So my business is picked up. I'm probably busier now than I've been in years. So
that's so great. That's
as far as the business, as far as the business is going, it's been great. I personally, I'm a homebody, so I don't really get out and about a whole lot anyway. I chill at home quite a bit. So the quarantining didn't bother me so much. But I have to say, it did freak me out a little bit to see the world around me moving different.
Yeah.
Thinking differently and just being emotionally affected. So it affected me to see other people affected. You understand? And And that's been my effect as far as the quarantine and the COVID thing. I haven't had any issues with health, nor has anyone close to me had any issues with the health issues. So we've been blessed in that aspect.
That's good. That's really good to hear. And I'm I'm very happy to hear that business has not been affected for you as much because, of course, in March when everything got shut down in the whole world,
Yeah.
The emotions that I had around me from people were sadness, frustration, depression, despair, and so
Yes.
that's why I started this talk. And the talk kind of grew out into an inspirational talk period for not just creators but everyone. And what it kind of grew into is finding the inspiration and motivation from people that are my guests and finding out about their journeys and their, you know, them sharing their knowledge and experience for people that can help within this industry, but also in life in general. Because most of the things that we go through as creatives are things that you can apply in everyday life.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you have the amount of examples for that as well.
For sure.
I see the questions coming in. Please put the questions in the question box below, so we can get to those, so we don't have to keep interjecting in the conversation. So starting first, I want to say, how do you feel having accomplished so much? Is that something that you feel at your, you know, peak, or do you feel like I'm not there yet? I still have goals and I still want to do so much.
Oh, I absolutely feel like there's so much more that I want to do, so much more that I can do, should do. Yeah, there's a lot in front of me. And to be honest with you, I think we may have spoken about this briefly before, but I think ever since I left my hometown of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and moved to LA years ago, my goal was just to try to be the best, do the best that I can. So every job and every opportunity that I got, I was just completely engulfed in trying to be that best backup singer, you know, bass player, whatever, and satisfy, you know, the artist that I'm working with. And it was one thing after another, and just God just started to bless me with a thing after thing after thing after thing. And to be honest with you, I'm always in work mode, and I really don't even realize how much I've accomplished sometimes until I hear other people talk about it, or introduce me or something. I think I was saying before, many times people introduce me, I'm like, dang, oh dang, I did all that, huh?
But
you know, I don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? I really don't think about it. I'm grateful for it. And as different things come up, you know, I get excited, you know, when I think about the Janet tours and the days and touring with Michael, the biggest artist in the world, and working with Vesta starting me out, and the television shows, working with Diddy. And when I think about things individually, I'm like, man, that was great. And I get excited about that. But very seldom do I really look at the whole and realize just how many blessings I've had. But I'm grateful for them. You know, I don't think I sit and really focus on them a lot because I'm always trying to think of the next thing to do. And I'm so into now trying to help other people, especially young people, come up and be successful. When I started out, I was so blessed and guided by a lot of my childhood heroes, like you were saying, that I just remember even back then thinking, man, if I'm ever in a position to help young people like they've helped me, I just want to pay it forward. So that's kind of where my focus is.
And that's amazing. And it does show what type of person you are, not sitting still, feeling accomplished, but just, you know, keep doing what you do. And when you love what you do, it's not really a matter of stopping or retiring, I guess.
Right.
Okay, so I told you before, when I read your biography, it's too much. Like it was too many characters to post online about socials. So I picked out a few names, and but then I realized, okay, you're not just a singer or a vocal coach, you are a musician as well. What did you pick up first? What instrument was your first talent discovery? Was that your voice? Was that a guitar? What was that?
Well, I'm the youngest of four, and my mother had a beautiful voice, but we were raised in church, so she sang all the time. All of my siblings had a degree of musicality. My brother played piano, my other brother played trumpet, my sister played piano. So at the time I came up, music was all around.
Right.
And I think at a young age, I really just took for granted that it was something that everybody could do. I didn't really pay attention to the fact that we had vocal ability, because we were just singing in church and choir, and that was just part of church. So that's how I thought of it. I was like, well, this is part of church, you know. So I was probably, I'm sure I was singing first, but I wasn't focused on it. Or I can't say I picked up singing. It was just, you know,
it was
put
something
on
you
me.
had to do there. It was just there.
It just was there, right. And I literally didn't realize at a young age that everyone couldn't sing. I thought everybody could sing because my family could, you know. So I got into the church choir, and that was just kind of part of church. Then I got into sports at a young age. I was really into sports. So my mom basically told me, you're going to take piano lessons, because she had paid for a piano. And my sister was playing. I guess my sister stopped. And she was like, somebody's going to play this piano. Somebody's playing this piano. I bought it. So I took piano lessons. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the instructions, to be honest with you. And it didn't line up with where I was and what I was doing. This teacher was trying to teach me certain things. I'm sure she probably was a great teacher. I was young. I was an African-American kid that was into R&B. She was probably trying to teach me classical or something. I was just disconnected. And then she was talking over my head, and I just wasn't into it. And plus, every time I was at piano practice, my friends were playing football and basketball, so I was resenting it anyway, you know.
I had to say, I played the piano, and I didn't continue with it because same thing, Yeah, so I had resentment every time it was time to play. But thank God some of the things, the seeds were planted, you know. Right. And I kind of gave up on that and stuck with sports again to like middle school. And I think I went to a friend of mine's house, and a band, one of the local bands, was practicing in the garage for one of their little concerts. And I saw this guy play bass guitar, and I was just blown away. I didn't even know the difference between guitars. I didn't know the difference between the lead guitar, bass guitar, anything. But I went to this rehearsal, and this guy was playing, and he just turned the amplifier on, and as soon as I heard, and the whole room shook, I was like, what is that? And I remember him tuning it up, and he went, and the walls shook. I was like, whoa, bro. I don't know what that is, but I got to have it. You know? I want that,
I want that. So I talked to him about what it was. He let me put it around me and show me how to do the slide thing. And I felt that power come through the room. And I was like, yo. So that was the first instrument that I chose.
Right.
Singing was kind of a blessing through the family. Piano was put on me, and then bass I chose.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because I played the piano and I played the bass when I was a kid. So that's
tell me
really
that. Look at that.
But I can't sing. I can't sing more than a little background somewhere in the background where people.
Oh, I'm gonna have to hear this one day. One day I'm gonna have to hear that.
Because I did that in church as well, and that's about all I did. Going into singing, because again, thank you for your extensive answers, but I'm looking at the time, like, okay, let's just get to the points that
get to them. I know you got a lot of them.
I got a lot of them, yes. Yes, so the singing, you just said you didn't realize that not everybody can sing. You as a vocal coach, two-part question, when did you figure out that you could actually sing and you could do something with it? And then the second part is, how do you pick the people that you teach? Because I can sit here and be like, hey, let's take some vocal lessons, but I can't sing for shit. Like, how do you have to do like an intake or send a demo? Or
No, that might be a good idea from now. No, actually, part one, the question, when did I know? Like I said, at first I just assumed everyone could. I think I was maybe a junior in high school before I realized that my singing ability was above average. Right. And that was because I was in the school's jazz band as a bass player. We had multiple singers in the band. And we were doing songs.
I'm kidding.
No, they were good. No, they were good. But I was like, it's cool, and I remember everyone in the class saying, "Oh my God, they sound so good. They sound just like the record." And I was like, "They don't sound just like the record." You know what I'm saying? They sound good, but you give it a little bit too much hype. They don't sound just like the record, right? And then, so of course, as kids do, well, can you do better? Or can you? I'm like, well, yeah, And I think that year I did a talent show. It was a talent show, and everyone expected for me to go and play a bass solo in a talent show because that's kind of what I always did. And I sang for the first time in front of an audience outside of church, and the response to that was nice. So I was like, I like this response. This is better than the bass playing response.
Right.
So that's part one. So the way that I determine who I choose as a client,
right,
it has changed over the years. At first, I just wanted to help anybody that I could. I wanted to help everybody that came to me. And the only ones that I would turn away were the ones who were tone deaf. And we throw that term around. I knew you were going to laugh like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere because you can't teach someone that doesn't know how to keep, staying here. Yeah. You said it, not me.
Here's the thing. We throw that term around, tone deaf, because people think, oh man, if you can't sing, you must be tone deaf. Well, it's very, very few people who are literally tone deaf. So tone deaf is to hearing what colorblind is to sight.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just as difficult as it would be to have you tell someone to color code something if they're colorblind, it's hard. Why are you laughing?
Because we had one of these girls in church that was tone deaf, and she just messed up the whole song and stuff. But she did it with passion. So it's church, so nobody cares.
Oh, they always put all the heart in it, don't they?
Yeah, and that's the worst. You don't want to say no, but because
right. And plus, they praise the Lord.
Exactly. The Lord doesn't care if it sounds right.
You be the bomb usher. Oh my God.
But for you as a teacher,
yeah,
it's kind of like I would feel guilty taking someone's money that I know I would never teach.
I did. And there was actually, I wouldn't do it. My assistant and I were talking about this not too long ago. There were, over the years, to address the tone deaf thing, like I said, it's very seldom. When people sing and they say, oh, that was bad, I'm tone deaf. I'm like, no, you're not. Because if you were tone deaf, you would have thought you sounded good. You would not hear that. Right. So if I at least have that, I can better you. If I know you can hear the correction, I can at least better you. Whether I can make you a great singer or not, it depends. But at least I can show you technique that makes you align your physical approach to pitch. You know what I'm saying? Right. Which usually comes from breathing, placement, things like that. So at first it was just about, hey, if I can fix you, I want to fix you. And there were 2 or 3 people who were tone deaf, and I would give them about 4 lessons. After the 4th one, if I didn't get an adjustment, I would say, I can't take your money anymore. Now it's about, God just blessed me to have a lot of great clients. So now I have to accept people who are either of a certain caliber,
right,
or even if you're a beginner, I'm down with it. If you're just starting, I'm down with it. But you got to at least have a great tone. You got to have a good ear. But more than anything, I got to feel like you really want it. If I think you just, oh man, the moment I see you half-assing it, I don't have time. There's too many people who really want it that I want to give it to. Right. So I can't get people that's like, can I take 1 lesson a month? No, because we're going to keep doing the same lesson over and over again.
It's frustrating for you. And in a way, I relate to that as an artist consultant. It's, I only want to help people. I was like you. I wanted to help everybody. And now it's like, I got to draw the line somewhere. You got to be somewhere in your career already. And I'm not saying you have to have a career, but you got to have, been through the basics and have a passion for it. So it's just, I know what you're saying. Wanting to go into who you teach, I saw the list of you having coached people like Avril Lavigne, who was it, Cassie, but I really want to ask you about how was it teaching or coaching Teddy Riley?
Oh man, well, first of all, Teddy and I are fam. We're brothers. I've been knowing Teddy for 31 years. So I've been knowing Teddy and Aaron and Damien since Guy started, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So working with Teddy was like hanging out with your brother, sharing ideas. It wasn't even like a technical thing, you know. It's just like,
you
hey,
knew
bro.
him. You knew him before you started working with him, or?
Yes.
Okay. Then yes. I get that.
Yeah, I actually met him when I was touring with Vesta, and I think we did a show somewhere down south, and Guy was there. Vesta performed, and you know, it was like a mutual admiration. I think Vesta gave us vocal solos in the show or something, and Teddy and Aaron approached me, and they were like, "Dude, you can sing." I was like, "Man, you're a guy," you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and we just became cool, which is interesting because also while I was working with Vesta, you know, that's right around the time that Dave Hollister joined Blackstreet, and Dave is family to me too. So it was just always been a family thing. So working with Teddy, that's like just brothers exchanging things. Like I'll go to him sometime and ask him musical things, and he teaches me. You know,
but for him, him being such a musical genius, how does he take direction from you?
Very well, very well. You know what? It's like the one thing about being a genius. Well, I don't know. I can't say that about everybody. Let me just talk about Teddy. So the one thing about Teddy is that he wants to be great, even though he's already great.
Right.
So he knows what he masters, but in areas that he feels like I can be better than that, he's very honest about it. And the dude is like, how can I say? Teddy's one of those guys that's great at he's a genius across the board. Like we used to laugh at him. He and I compete with like keeping up with the newest electronics and stuff. But I cracked up because we were at this restaurant once, Cracker Barrel. You know how they have that game with the little golf pins?
Yeah.
Like Teddy would like ace it like 4 or 5 times in a row. I'm like, dude, get out of here, bro. But when he wants something, he wants it so bad. You know, he wants to be the best at it. So he's very honest about, you know, big bro, tell me how to do this. I'm like, little bro, do this. And he's like, cool. But Teddy was very, Teddy kept me around actually to help him with the other singers, you know, like with the people in Blackstreet, people in Guy. But yeah, he's family. He's just family.
That's awesome. Are there any, and I don't need you to mention any names, but have you had celebrity clients that you were like, I cannot work with this person?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to mention names, but And I mean, having seen you do your thing on P. Diddy's Making His Band, I know you're not the one that's just gonna not say it. You'll just be straight up.
Absolutely. The one thing that I pride myself on is integrity, first of all.
Right.
It's all about integrity, but it's, you know, across the board as well. I have to be real. I don't like cheating people. I don't like lying. I don't like taking people's money. And I don't like to see people waste time.
Right.
So a lot of times, of course, in this industry, people don't want to hear the truth. So many times I'll just be quiet. But if you ask me, or if I'm in the position where it's my job to address it, then I'm gonna be honest.
Have people given you a hard time with that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you handle that?
Well, here's the thing. I think when people do, this is an industry that is full of a lack of integrity. This is an industry of like, I got to do what I got to do to get in, and you might be my girl today, but if I get
going over dead bodies,
you know what I'm saying? So I've never been that. I was raised in a family where we were taught within the family. You know, you love your sister, you love your brother. And when they gain, you're excited. There's no jealousy. There's no competition. So when I came into this industry, it was just so embedded in me that I recognize it, but I couldn't buy into it.
Right.
So throughout the years, there are times that I'll see things and I speak up. And of course, it's weird to people because they're thinking, one, that's not how you succeed in this business. Or they're like, I'm kind of irritated that you're doing that because I really want to do that too, but I don't have the guts. So yeah, I will say there are a lot of people who didn't understand how I was able to maintain the integrity and still stay successful
and be respected. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because that's
100%.
really what it is. And I think that if
Yeah,
you have your integrity, that is exactly how you get respect. You do not get respect in the
100% correct.
industry by kissing ass or by beating around bushes. And
100%.
definitely not by not respecting yourself. Because in a way, the reason why you do that is because you respect yourself and your talent too much to be doing some bullshit, so to speak.
100%, ma'am.
Yeah.
You are correct, ma'am.
And, okay, thank you, sir. That's that Southern.
Yes.
All right. Well, that I do believe that if people don't agree with that or don't want to be associated with that, then they're not for you. Like whether they can bring you somewhere, there's more ways to roam, and so that's you don't need those people that are telling you that that's not the way you should do it.
Well, here's the thing. I have been in this industry for 31 years now on the professional level. My first tour was 1989. And
You're
I have
so
worked.
Old? I'm kidding.
I'm old, man. I'm old. So I'm old. I didn't tell you I was 9 when it started. No, I was kidding. But lies. So, but you know what? I have worked consistently. But here's the thing to address what you were just saying. I genuinely believe, like I sincerely believe, and I always have, that God is my provider. And he has been. You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
So that means as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, he's the only one that I'm worried about bowing to. So if you are a person that's in position of power, or if you have money and you want to try to manipulate me because of that, it ain't going to work here, you know, because I feel like I'm going to do my best job. I'm going to respect you in the position of authority, as long as you respect me as a man and everything is good. If that's not the agreement, then I'm cool. I'll step out of this, and God always provides something else. And because he always provides something else, it reinforces that I don't have to bow down to position of money.
Exactly. That's also what I was saying. You don't need those people. And that counts for whether you're in the industry or not. That's just in life general. Like you don't have to deal with things that you don't want to deal with. And,
absolutely.
And you don't have to adjust to other people's personalities just to be part of something. Anyway, going forward into this conversation. So, you know, you were talking about when you met Teddy and his friends when they came to you during a Vesta tour, that they were like, oh, you can sing and you're a guy. Now, what I read was that you were the first male background singer that was going on tour with Janet. Do I say that correct?
Yeah, that was
How
true.
Was that? Was it really a thing back
amazing.
then? Like there were no male background vocalists?
I don't know if it was a focused thing that was a decision made, but I do know that she was about to do the Janet tour. So That's the Way Love Goes had just come out, right? And I got a call from my big sister, who legendary Patrice Rushen, and Patrice was she was hired to conduct the auditions, and at that point it was a very hush-hush thing. So no one was really you didn't know about the audition unless you were invited. And so I know Patrice called me. She said, listen, she's going to go with 3 singers this tour. She's going to use 2 girls and a guy. She's never used a guy before, so it's going to be several guys going for this one position. I want to know if you're interested in doing it. I'm like, of course. She said, listen, I can get you in, but I can't get you the gig. I can get you the audition. Be prepared. Go in and kill it. I was like, I'm down.
Hell yeah.
And she's like, you know, just remember, it's only one position, and it's going to be several guys going for it. So, you know, I don't know prior to that if that was like, we don't want guys, if that was like that, or if it's just, hey, let's try a guy.
So that was, the audition was specifically for men?
It was a position, it was an audition for the entire new band.
Oh, okay.
But
so it
this was the first.
The spot could have gone to a woman as well.
No, there were 2 spots that were being auditioned for 2 women, but there was 1 spot for a guy.
Oh, okay.
So they were auditioning 3 singers for 3 singers, and then they were going to use 2 girls and 1 guy. So they had 2. So every girl that went to audition, she had at least an opportunity to be chosen as a soprano or the alto.
Right, right.
Every guy that went there was going for one slot.
And did you have to audition for Janet herself?
Yeah, of course.
How was that?
It was dope. It was completely, I was so amped though. You have to understand, we had ample time to prepare. Right. And I worked my ass off. I went to sleep with those songs in my ear. I woke up with them in my ear. I was going to the track running 2-3 miles a day. I studied her videos, because that was right around the time that Janet was changing her image. If you remember. Yeah. She had come from the whole. Came out with the new. yeah, she was like the grown, sexy new Janet. Exactly. So I was watching the video of "That's the Way Love Goes" and "If," and I was like, okay, I'm gonna.
That's when she had changed her body, and that's when she came out on stuff. I'm hot now.
Exactly. So I went in prepared, and it was Janet sitting in a chair. Patrice Rushen was right beside her. It was a sound guy. I remember this guy's name was Malcolm, and 3 microphones. And we had to go in and audition as a sections at a time. 2 girls and a guy. 2 girls and a guy. Did you get the
songs prior to, or were you able to sing what you wanted to? Oh, you had to sing.
No, they gave us all the 3 songs that we would be auditioning.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was great. I went in. I was very confident. I was very comfortable. And we just connected. Janet and I connected immediately that day. We literally connected that day.
That's great. That's, to me, it's just like you sang with Janet Jackson. You toured with her. I mean, you were here too, right? With her on tour.
I'm sorry?
You were over here on tour with her, right?
Absolutely. We went to Amsterdam, Rotterdam, all those. Yeah.
So you did that. Yeah. If we had footage back then, if we had phones and stuff, then you would be all over the place.
Trust me, it's somewhere, because people were still finding ways to record that stuff even back then.
True, but it's now it's easier to find stuff from
so
yourself.
Anybody can do it now, right? Just like every phone. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so you did the tour with Janet. What for you is one of the biggest mistakes you've made in this industry, in this business, that you've learned the most from?
That's a good one. Ooh, let me pick which one.
Too many.
Jeez.
You can mention a few.
Mistakes I've made. One of the mistakes that I've made that I think we all make, and I try to steer young people from, is being excited about a new opportunity, a new offer or whatever, and telling people about it too soon.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes when things are coming, you just need to be between you and your family and God, and wait till it's all done.
Until it manifests for real.
Exactly. Another thing is many times, again, part of my character, many times I will see things, people being like mistreated within the industry, and I will stick my neck out to protect these people, and then and then they'll be like, no, it's okay, nothing was wrong, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
But as far as the musician part and things like that, I've been blessed with like I said, I was blessed with an awesome family that just kind of brought us up understanding how to socialize and how to know when to speak up, know when to kind of chill, know how to respect people. The one thing that I learned the very first week of touring in my life, it was like an understanding that, hey, here's a situation where you're going to be working and practically living with people from all different walks of life and different upbringings, and you got to figure out how to balance respecting everyone for who they are and understanding that's who they are. You got to respect them, and also balance that with, you got to make sure that they know who you are and respect your boundaries too. Yeah. And those things. Once I got that, it kind of helped me avoid making too many bad mistakes. Like I said, I've been blessed. I've been working since '89, pretty much consistently.
Well, that's amazing. Shout out to Amadeus, who just entered.
I just saw Amadeus pop in.
Yes, I have to shout him out because he's the one that put us together. So thanks so much for that. This is absolutely wonderful. I already know that you and I cannot address all this business stuff and this knowledge from you and the experiences from you in 1 hour.
Right.
But I'm going to go to some of the questions that people put in here.
Okay.
Megia93 says, did you ever make a vocal coach with someone from Europe? I think maybe that person means, are you coaching people here? Now, I know you do, so.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I coach people from all over the world, actually, every day almost. There's at least once a year I speak at a convention that has about 62, 63 plus nations come in, nations of singers that come together, and I go and speak. That's every year that I do that. But even prior to that, yeah, for the past 5 years, I've been teaching. Started off with Skype. Now, of course, I use Zoom. But
Right.
every day I have clients in Amsterdam, in New Zealand, in Indonesia, and you name it, all over.
So your schedule is all over the place with these time differences. Like you work
Yes.
like at any hour of the day to
Yes.
accommodate your
Yes.
clients.
Yeah, every day is a different sleep schedule for me depending on who I'm teaching that day.
Right. And so do you have a waiting list, or do you still have like spots left? How do you do that?
Kind of both. I have a couple of slots left, depending on when people are available and when I'm available. There's
Right.
certain times that I need to take off for myself.
Of course.
And then there are people who are definitely asking, and sometimes they want to get their money together. Sometimes because, like I said, I want this to be a committed thing.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend time and pour the knowledge and the experience that God has blessed me with, I don't want it to just go to somebody who's just doing this just as a
It's
hobby.
not serious. Yeah.
I can't afford that. And I feel like it's cheating someone who really wants to do this.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So my nephew who's in here, he's a singer, and we're going to get it together because I think you'd be great to and he's serious, so we're gonna get that together. Some more questions, of course, from one of my favorite people in the world, Mr. Daryl. He asks, what would you say was the biggest difference working between Janet and Michael?
Good ass question.
Yes, he always asks.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's a good question. Okay, so here's the deal. So working with Janet, first of all, was the first tour that just took me to another level. I toured with Vesta, Jody Watley, Sheena Easton, worked with Hammer and different people, right? But Janet was that first tour that was just elevating me to another level.
Right.
Financially, prestige, everything, right? I bought my first home through that tour. It was a lengthy tour. It was just the best. It was the most fun time of my life, I believe. And I got to see places I'd never seen. The camaraderie was great. Fortunately, it was a great thing. Janet and I got along very well. All the members. It was just fun. It was really fun. In that situation, though, I felt like in that situation, I was one of the, how can I say this without it being taken wrong? You have to be so careful how you say things. I was one of the more advanced musically,
right,
in the whole situation. So there were times that it was nothing for me to step up and be like, hey, here's the parts of that, this and the other. Whether the band members were working with me or I was working with the singers, but it was just fun. It was like one big family. We had a ball, made a lot of money. When I learned a lot from Janet too.
Right.
But when I got with Michael,
Which tour did you do with Michael?
The tour that I did with Michael was called What More Can I Do? We did all overseas. Okay. This was at the point where Michael said, I'm not doing anything else in America. He was like fed up with that thing.
Right.
And we did like Korea and Hong Kong and Germany and all those types of places. He and Nelson Mandela came together to put this tour together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome though. But when I toured with Michael, I felt like I prayed about this actually, because I remember being in a position where I prayed to God and said, man, I love the blessings that you're giving me, and I'm so grateful. I want to feel like I want to learn more now. I'm glad that you put me in a position where I'm teaching people and I'm able to help people, or we're neutral.
Right.
But I want to be in a situation now where I can grow more. And my friend Kevin Dorsey called me and said, man, you want to do this Michael Jackson tour? Kevin Dorsey is a singer who's been with Michael since he's been ever since he's been solo. Kevin had done all kind of movie scores and all this. I really looked up to him as as a singer from the time I first moved to LA. And when I got with Michael, it was great because I just felt like a kid in school learning everything. And obviously, it was Michael. It's the biggest artist that ever worked.
Right.
Prestige-wise, it was totally different. Janet was like here. Michael was like up through the roof, you know.
So, but what was okay, as far as levels, obviously it was different, but what for you was the biggest difference working with them, maybe personally?
You know, Janet and I were much more, we interacted a lot. It was nothing for me to go up and talk to Janet. We laugh and talk.
More
and
friendly,
she would come up. Yeah. It was just, she was more accessible.
Right.
Michael, I talked to Michael. I remember being with Michael and we would all, want to take pictures with him sometimes, and his security team would be like, we're going to designate a date.
Yeah.
Next week, Wednesday at this time, he's going to take pictures.
Pencil him in.
Yeah, but it's no just walk to the mic like, hey, let's get a sit down. Nah, that wasn't happening. So that was the difference. Janet was more personable. Janet was more accessible. Michael was personable. Michael was as sweet as he can be. But they were very protective of him. And I think that the times we interacted most was either at a sound check. He and I don't know how everybody else was. I interacted with him most in the sound check and on planes. He would get private planes, and sometimes he would walk his kids around. And he had this lady named Grace, and they would walk the kids around. And sometimes we just start talking because he knew that I used to work with Janet, so we would talk about that a lot.
Okay. Did he already wear his face mask at the time?
He did.
He was far ahead of us.
He did. He did. I was just talking about that the other day. I was like, people made fun of Michael about wearing his face mask, and now look.
He never got corona.
Never got corona.
Let me see. Okay, this is a question I was going to ask as well, but I didn't really want to. Okay, but Daryl's he's becoming my sidekick in here. Who would you say is the most underrated singer on the road that you absolutely loved working with?
Who's the most what now? Let me see.
Underrated singer.
Rashaan Patterson.
Oh, and that's funny because he's worked with him. So.
Rashaan Patterson, hands down. Rashaan Patterson was the most gratifying tour for me of all the tours.
Why?
As a singer. Because his vocal ability and I'm a background singer at heart. Like, I love harmonies. And Rashaan's ear and his arrangement, his ability to do multiple colors with his voice, his range, I was just a fan. Like I was on a tour, actually doing a play with Millie Jackson in New York. The first time I heard Rashaan Patterson's CD, his single, and I thought, who in the world is this dude? It was so funky, but I was listening to the vocals. I was like, this dude is so dope. And then I think I saw him on Soul Train. Show you how much I dug this cat. I saw him on Soul Train, and I saw my friend Kenneth Krause was playing keys for him. I called Kenneth. I was like, dude, who's this dude that you're playing with? Like, he said, oh, that's Rashaan. He's a new artist. I said, I want to tour with y'all. And Kenneth was like, really? I said, yeah. He said, man, he's a new artist. He don't really have like the Janet Jackson budget and stuff. I was like, I don't care. I don't even care. Like, I want to sing with this dude. And I went and bought his CD, and then I listened to the rest of the CD. I was like, yo, this dude is incredible. And the whole time that I worked with him, it was just gratifying vocally, because just to be in a room and, his ear is so off the chain. He would get with the singers, and he had always kept great singers around. And he would just go in, and we'd go into rehearsals, and nothing was ever the same. At any moment, he'd go, we're gonna switch up the arrangements today. So that was just great for me. So I think Rashaan Patterson.
And it's interesting because Daryl's yelling in here, Kenneth is that dude, and because he's still working with Rashaan. I remember the first time I heard his first single, and I was like, this is a whole different thing. Like, it was soulful in a new way. Like, it was soulful
and funky at the same time.
Right. And so I have all his CDs, and but then I got the chance to interview him, and that went all the way left because dude was high, and no, I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but he was in Amsterdam and he got high and I never got to, and I was super excited because I was a fan. And then
Right.
I didn't get a chance to sit down with him because he just messed up. And I really did not like that because I'm also professional about my stuff. So if I have an appointment with you to do an interview, but then being in Amsterdam, that happened a lot. When people start smoking and stuff, they just forget their whole schedules.
Right.
I remember that he was almost late for his own show here. The show was great though, but I was a little sour watching it because I didn't get to talk to him.
I got you.
But I love
we killed when we were there though. I mean, it was some years back when I was with him, but we killed. We did Amsterdam shows, Rotterdam shows, but then we also did the North Sea Jazz Festival.
North Sea Jazz,
yeah.
That would have been right now. North Sea Jazz would have been right in this time, either
You're right.
weekend or next weekend. But of course, Corona, so no North Sea Jazz. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of our time. Unfortunately, I have so much to still ask you. But for the people that are tuned in, one of the probably most important questions is, what is the best advice that you can give to vocalists or artists that are now dabbling in this industry?
Okay, well, that's kind of a two-part answer too. So the best things I can say vocally on like a physical approach, of course, obviously as a coach, I would say definitely keep rested, stay hydrated, practice, get a good coach, learn proper technique. As far as pursuing the business, make sure, this is super important in this time, try to make sure that you prioritize honing your craft before you prioritize getting noticed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just, now, some people may argue that, some people have been successful doing it the other way. As a singer, I'm saying this: you get one shot at a first impression.
Yes.
So you understand? So work on your craft. Like, you can get online, you can get on YouTube, you can do all this, and you can get these videos, and you can get dope producers, you can get the pictures and the video, all of that. But when it comes down to the point of someone saying, nice, we want to book you to open up for this artist, are you want to freak out? Are you be like, I'm ready? Because when it comes down to it, our job as singers is to sing. The producers and the videographers and the choreographers, they're doing their job, but you got to make sure that when you step into this game, you take your contribution to your success seriously. And I think that's what's been the difference between artists today versus the difference, the old artists, which is, again, I think I mentioned to you once, it's a blessing for me to be the age that I am, because I'm that bridge.
Right.
That,
yes.
I get to work with the Neos and the Trey Songs and I got some young artists coming up that you guys haven't heard yet that's about to really make some noise. But I have them that I still have my hands on, but I also have the history of working with, the Temptations and the James Ingrams and the Bobby Womack's and the Jennifer Holliday, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the Vesta Williams, the Patrice Russians. So I want everybody to still be open and willing to learn from each other, and don't get so caught up in what's happening right now with the social media only.
Well, that's something that not a lot of artists or people in the industry actually do or can do, which is bring the experience from the old school to the new school, and then mixing that with the experience of how the new school is doing things, the change of the environment of the music industry, going from vinyl to digital. Those are things that I think can work very well together, and there can be like a mix of tools that can really elevate your career or your branding, however you want to say it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the value that people like you really can give to these new school artists. And again, I honestly feel like I need like 5 more hours to talk to you, because there's so many things that I want to touch on and hear your thoughts on as far as
It's a lot.
experience. Share this
It's
with
a lot.
yeah.
It's hard to put 30 years in
Right.
an hour.
In an hour.
You know?
It's just not possible. And for those that are tuned in, me and him have talked for hours already, and I still don't know enough. I see another question come in. Let's see. We still have time for a question. Oh, hold on. What's happening? What do you feel motivated you to have longevity in this industry? That's a good question.
Okay, so what
you got
motivated
2 minutes.
Gotcha. What motivated me was the love of music motivated me to do what I'm doing. What gave me longevity, I feel, was taking the time to study what works and pursuing it. A lot of times I think as artists, you know, we all know in the music industry, in entertainment, a lot of ego goes in with this thing. If you can step outside of yourself enough to figure out what is it that I may need to improve, and it may not necessarily be in singing or playing. What do I need to improve? I believe my longevity came from, again, being raised in the family that I was raised in, understanding, hey, it's not all about you. You got to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to respect other people too. I think that was one of the main keys. And then just every time I went to a situation, I understood that my role in this job is to do what I'm hired to do.
Right.
I'm not trying to figure out how to play the funkiest bass lick in this gig. I want to play the lick that's on the record. You know, I want to make sure that I'm blending in with the harmonies. I don't want to just throw a riff out of nowhere.
Right.
And then being pleasant. People don't understand how.
Oh, you're very pleasant. The likability is an actual factor in this game.
Yes. So when you leave a situation, you want people to feel like, man, wonder how he's doing. I miss her. I like her. Call her back for the next one. That's where it comes from. And doing the job and being pleasant while you're doing the job, to really sum it up. That's kind of like a nutshell, you know, being great at your job and being pleasant while you're doing it. So that's, I think, what got me longevity. And to be honest with you, what we were talking about earlier, you know, there are times that you can go too far overboard, and then people look at you like a kiss ass, and then you're not respected. So make sure that you maintain your respect, because people know when they're doing something that's out of line, you know. And if you can go to them one-on-one and be like, hey, listen, you know that was out of line, right? Like, I'm here to do the job for you. I'll do it. Don't disrespect me like that again. And they'll look at you like, yikes. But then from that point on, they're like, hey, what's up, Pay?
Exactly.
And you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I haven't even, like, one of the people that I really want to ask you about working with is Queen Latifah. But that's like, I got like a couple minutes left, so I'm not even going to touch on that. But I just
best. Let me just say that she's the best. I learned so much from her.
That's all I wanted to know, because you know, me having met a lot of my childhood heroes, and then them turning out to be assholes or not pleasant. Sometimes you just don't want to work with a person prior, because you just don't want that image to be like completely shattered.
Right.
Okay, I'm getting the countdown quickly in as little words as possible. Who would you still want to work with, despite this whole resume that you have? Who is one person that you still would love to work with?
Dead or alive?
Yes.
Prince.
Well, alive, because then we speak it into existence.
Well, okay. Well, okay. Alive. Who would I still want to work with? Jeez.
Nobody ever asked you that question?
Not really. I mean, I've worked with most of my favorite people.
You can mention me. No, I'm kidding.
What'd you say?
You can say Pay.
Well, obviously, I'm getting that right now. Shoot, I don't know.
Don't worry about it. We can get back to that. Daryl says, for someone so accomplished, I appreciate that you're continually learning from all of these legends. Respect. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Before, I don't want to get cut off, I want to say a proper thank you for being a guest on this little series of mine called What Now. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and maybe we can do this again because we just have so much to share. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. This thing is going to cut us off. Romeo, we'll talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
right.
Amadeus, my man.
Thank you, Amadeus. Bye.